We're back at Egrets Studio. Today I'm with Mike Garrigan. Nice place that you have here, and thank you for allowing us to host these things here. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
And we're going to get right down to finding out a little bit about Mike and what he does and how he does it. So, as a musician myself, I'm kind of curious to know if music was maybe a passion of yours that led to a career, or was it the other way around, that you knew and decided that music was the thing you wanted to do and jumped right into it?
A little bit of both, if that's allowed. I mean, I don't want to be wishy-washy, but I think starting out as a kid, you know, I had really supportive parents, and we tried things like gymnastics and karate and bike riding and skateboarding. Eventually, I found a guitar, and I picked up the guitar, and that was something I became really good at, and I liked. And for some reason, I didn't go on to the next thing. Guitar playing was very much a hobby for me.
Right.
All the way through high school, and I was very studious, and I got into college. I went to college, and when I got to college, I realized that, you know, I'm making some decent money playing these gigs, you know, in coffee shops and clubs, and people were telling me I was good, and I had lots of fans, so I made a CD, and then I sold a whole bunch of those, and then made another CD, and then things developed from there to where I realized that I owe it to myself to try to do this as a career for a little while, and the little while is still going. So that's sort of my story with
it. What do you remember most about the interest that you had in music and how it grew? You mentioned how you started playing, then you started making CDs. Was it the feedback that you were getting from people that kind of got you turned on to, well, this could not only be fun, but I mean, I could really do something with this?
I think the thing for me with music that is most attractive to me, I think that's part of the question, is that with a guitar and with singing and songs, I can express things that I feel that I can't say and I can't really show, but I can sing about them or play them through a guitar. And to me, being able to express myself in that way was very fulfilling. And that's still what keeps me coming back to the guitar every day, is that I can say what's on my mind and my heart. Fill me a little more on that question. Like, what else should I tell you?
Well, I'm going to go back because you said something about you found the guitar, and I have my own story about how I got turned on to music. So when you say you found the guitar, what really happened there? Did somebody have a guitar and you picked it up and started playing it, or?
Yeah, I was at a Catholic school called St. Patrick's, and music teacher said, you know, if anyone wants to come in and bring a musical instrument to play, you can play it for the class. This was in the 6th grade, and I went and told my dad about it. I goes, hey, we got a guitar, you know, if you can bring that in. And I realized I don't know how to play anything. So I remember I liked listening to music, and I remember that summer that movie La Bamba was out. And what's the band? Los Lobos did the most awesome soundtrack for it. Gosh, their versions of the Richie Valens songs are just incredible. But I sat and I learned how to play the intro to La Bamba in a weekend, and I came in on Monday and I said, hey, Sister Margaret, I got a guitar for music class, and they let me play the song La Bamba. I didn't know anything about the intro, and then I noticed the second part, the feedback. People liked me more. So I could play the guitar.
All of a sudden you were a little more accepted than you had been?
Yeah, and I never really had a problem fitting in, but I think there's a real sense of, I hesitate to say this, but a sense of power that you get as a musician when you're able to express yourself and you're able to do something adeptly. And I realized that because I could learn that in a weekend, I already had this sort of inherent musical appetite. And it was only satisfied when I learned more and more songs and played for the class more and more. So.
Right. But would you say that's kind of the pivotal moment for you? What the light went off in your head? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have a power here, and I have a way here that I didn't realize before.
Right. And it was sort of like, you know, with gymnastics, I wanted to be a gymnast, and I didn't have the wrists for it. And my frame was starting to fill out in a way that I can't do the back handsprings anymore, but I can play the
Come
guitar.
on, I want you to show us.
There's a video that my parents have of me doing that, but I realized that it was something I liked to do and I could express myself with, and it started to develop as a part of my identity. Mm-hmm. The guy who played the guitar, my thing.
Right. Did you start off playing your own songs right away, or did you do other people's material and then work into your own music?
Yeah, I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is it's a very it's not a rough town. I wouldn't call it. It is a GI town. It's a lot of military there. So because it's a GI town, every metal band that was touring would stop there.
Is metal a GI thing?
Kind of,
Okay.
Metal's a heavier thing,
but anyway, just taught me something I didn't know.
But anyway, these metal bands would come play at the Coliseum, and everyone would go, and it's very guitar heavy. So I got my tickets to see Badlands, Tesla, Great White, Kiss, like all the big bands came through there.
Yeah.
And so we would just learn the licks, the week before, and then watch them play it, and then go home and play some more. So it was the environment was very lent itself to metal, and so that was really what I learned to play. But I realized that when I ventured out of Fayetteville, that metal really wasn't.
It wasn't on everybody's minds.
Right. Not everybody waited with bated breath to watch Headbangers Ball on Saturday night like I did. So I started to listen to a group called REM.
Very familiar with them.
And when I started to sing their songs, people told me I sounded like that guy. So REM became my first songwriting type influenced band. And I started to play those kinds of songs. And I didn't mind it. It felt like a part of me too. And then somewhere when I was 16 years old, the switch flipped, and I could see things that weren't there before, and play things that weren't there before, and they were coming from somewhere else. And I guess we call that writing.
Right.
And so I was writing my own songs, and I wrote maybe 10 songs when I was in high school.
Did you throw them out at people and see what happened with them?
I played them for friends, and they liked them, and that's kind of why I got encouraged to do the coffee shop circuit when I got to college. People really liked some of my songs; they could relate to them, and that was the big thing I was getting. It's like, you get me, is what they told me, and I don't really know them, but I think I was understanding myself, and because I was expressing those things that everyone was feeling at the time in my circle, that I was sort of the guru or
it's
whatever.
Like kind of being tapped into a consciousness of some sort that's going on.
And when I tell you that, I don't want to say that I thought I was special or better than anybody. It just felt like something I was doing, and it was showing up, and I understood what to do with it. I needed to share it, I needed to record it, and it just turned itself into what it became.
Right.